Oh yeah, you found your way back to me. Excellent. G-Man Tactical. Good to see y'all. Got another new knife for you. Another knife from Schrade. This is the Schf 33. Comes with I'm not sure if this is Kydex, because there's no real specs on this knife yet, since it's a brand new knife that's technically not even out yet. Got some little eyelets there and some slits for different lashing options. And there's your belt loop. Now the belt loop on this one is not reversible, unlike the Schf 34 and 35. That's one thing I like about those little ones more. It's just because you can turn this around if you are a lefty. Not that I am, but hey, options are cool. The sheath on this one I didn't like as much because this one does have rattle. You know, it's not a bunch and it ain't really a deal breaker if the knife works well and if the sheath does hold it in securely, which it does, but you hear that. I'm not a big fan of rattle. That's how I am. But it does hold it in there securely. Comes off easily. There you go, there's your sheath. You know, it's not super high quality sheath, but they're trying to keep this cheap. You know, they're trying to keep it for people on a budget. You know, they don't want to just kick out a bunch of $300 knives. I don't know the actual price of this. I'm guessing it's around probably mid-30s, maybe 40 bucks. I'm not totally sure on that yet, but we'll find out together in 2015. Go over the technical specs. Now, since there's no real specs out on it yet, I got to measure it myself and figure everything out. Overall length is 9¼ inches. The blade length is 4 3/4 inch, and the actual cutting surface is about 4½ inch. The weight, I'm guessing, maybe 9 ounces, maybe 8 or 9 ounces, something like that. It's not very heavy. It's actually really light. Now the handle is kind of a cross between Crichton and like GRN. It's weird. It's kind of rubbery, but kind of not. I don't know. Maybe it's just how they did it. It's got some funky little notches in there to aid in grip. Shape of the handle. Full tang construction. It's a little bit more than 1/4 inch, I think, or it is 1/4 inch thick, the tang. Got some good jimping right there. Jimping is pretty aggressive on this one, so I'm wondering how much it's going to hurt, or if it is going to hurt. It's got a good hilt there. I like hilts. Keep you safe so you don't slide forward and hurt yourself on the blade. Now it's got a hollow grind, but it's pretty shallow. It's just barely there. It's like a modified Tonto point. It's kind of funky. A little bit of a swedge up there. One thing I gotta maybe give a hit on, I haven't tested it yet, but this is just from feeling it. It feels, you know, it's a good size. You see how it is in my hand, but it feels a little square. They did round it off a little bit here, but just right here. I'm not sure if that's gonna cause a problem, but I'm gonna try it out and see how it feels. Now I don't know if I mentioned the steel or not. This is the 8CR13 MOV, and so far it seems like their heat treating is pretty darn good. Now this one doesn't have a lanyard, which is surprising, because usually almost every knife in the universe has a lanyard. But not that you really use them, especially with a smaller knife. This is like a small bushcraft knife, you know, 4½ inch blade. So let's try this thing out. So let's see how the initial sharpness is. It feels pretty darn good. I should bring some darn paper out just for the first initial cut, but I think it feels pretty darn sharp. Let's try it out. Try some controlled push cuts. Just do some fine ones at first. I'll even try this funky Tonto point. Whoa. That seems pretty darn sharp. Okay, now we're gonna bury it. Do the Tonto point first, see how far we can get in this thing. Oh yeah. Wow, that's actually really freaking sharp. You can see that right there, how far I just went. Now we'll try this part of the blade. Oh yeah, she's flying right in. So at least they're giving you a sharp product right out the box. A lot of companies, for some odd reason, have a freaking problem with that. But these guys seem like they're doing a good job with that, at least. That's cool. Now she's digging right in. no problem. Definitely sharp knife out the box. Do a couple hammer stabs with this, see how it feels. So far so good. I'm starting to feel that sharp edge though a little bit. Not really bad, but we'll keep doing it because then we'll, see if we get the hot spots or not. Oh, that stabbed in pretty darn good. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely a good stabber, that's for sure. And that hilt is perfect, totally holding me in there. And the hilt ain't hurting my pinky or nothing. It ain't like it's ramming against it or nothing. So that's good. And no shock through the handle. It's like all the different things you gotta look for when you use a knife. Especially if you want to use something for prolonged periods. You want to make sure it's not gonna hurt you. Oh, but she's stabbing in. Actually, really freaking good. Check that out. That's pretty damn deep. Now for some thrusts. Now we'll see if this jimping hurts my thumb a lot. Like I said, I don't mind feeling it a little bit, but if it hurts too much, not that these knives are always meant for really stabbing. It ain't like a tactical knife. I guess it could be though, couldn't it? Okay, yeah, that hurts a little bit, yep. A little bit aggressive, but with everything else I was doing so far, it hasn't hurt, like whittling and stuff. But just a little bit, yeah, just a little bit, it is hurting. Now if I hold it like this, don't do a saber grip. If I do a hammer grip, but like that, then it's not bad. Then actually I don't feel any pain. It's just that jimping is a little bit aggressive. So in a saber grip, you're gonna feel it a little bit. Do a little bit of chopping with this. Oh, stuck it pretty good. Not that it has a lot of weight for this, but we're just testing it. See how it feels, see if this thing gets slippery. And so far, so good. Get out of there. But that square handle, yeah, I do feel that square handle. So they got to round this out just a little bit, I think. Just that very sharp corner. It's not even the bottom. The bottom's good. It's just the top where that sharp edge is. Now we'll just chop on this big log a little bit. Whoopsie. Watch, I'm going to end up knocking this darn log down. And there goes all my firewood. Yeah, definitely not enough weight to really chop. There's a little bit, and it will do it if you have to, but it's definitely not meant for that. I'm gonna just chop into this piece of lumber a little bit. Can do it left-handed this time. Hey, you gotta practice with your left, right? Just in case your good hand gets hurt. You never know when you're out there. Oh, man. Yeah, it's funny how retarded my left hand is. I can still kind of use it, but hey, that's why I'm practicing. And yeah, I practice everything with this hand. Sinking in pretty good. Not getting no shock. Time for some batoning. See how it holds up. The tip's pretty fine. Hopefully I don't break it. See what happens. So far so good. Not getting any shock through the handle at all. Ooh, here's a big old knot. Here we go. Just do a couple more pieces. Oh, there goes my other piece of wood. That's okay. Oh, it's flying right through it, actually. It's definitely sharp enough. They're definitely doing a good job on their sharpening, at least. That's cool. Couple big old knots right there at the beginning. I like batoning, it's fun. I know you're not supposed to do it, blah blah, but it's fun to do. Come on, Betsy. Ooh, a couple big old knots right on the bottom here. Take a look. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Let's take a closer inspection of the edge. I'm going to look at it first so I can see it up close and personal. That way I can see anything. Yeah, that's just all wood. So, perfect. And the finish, not too bad. A couple little scuffs, but I think that'll actually just come right off. Just do a couple more stabs. It's just surprising how much denser, you know, lumber is compared to just a regular old tree. Because it's been planed down, so it's been compressed. And it's denser. Doing good though. Like I said, that thing, the hill ain't hurting or nothing. Yeah. Okay, I got some bad news. Man, here we go again. Hey, it didn't break, it didn't chip, it didn't crack. But, now I know this knife might not be meant for this, but when I was doing my stab test, I bent the damn tip. I think it was because I was stabbing in that wood, or the piece of lumber. It's not pressure treated, and I think it's only pine, but like I said, when they plane wood, it actually makes wood denser. So that's why I tested on regular wood and, you know, the lumber, just because it's a little bit tougher test. And I can't believe it, but I actually friggin' bent it a little bit. Look at that. It's because this tip, if you look at the swedge and stuff, it's just so fine. This thing is so darn thin right there. And it actually just bent it over a little bit. So I'm kind of bummed out about that. But hey, this thing ain't officially out yet. So maybe they can make it a little bit thicker, Schrade, if you're listening. Just make it a little bit thicker, and then I think you'll be okay. Because it didn't break, it didn't crack or nothing, but look at that. I did bend it a little bit. Damn it. So, that kind of sucks that that happened. Would I recommend it? I'm going to have to say no. You know, just because of that. If they fix this, then definitely. And if they redo it, hopefully I'll get a new one and I'll be able to retest it and tell you for sure. But you guys still have time because this ain't out till 2015. So hopefully they'll have some time to work on it. Make that a little bit thicker. Round off these edges on the handle a little bit because that was hurting a little bit too. If they just fine-tune this thing a little bit, it would be a winner. Because it was cutting really good, it batoned good. It was doing everything great besides it failed at the stabbing and it bent over, which I'm pretty bummed out about that. But I got to be truthful with you guys. I got to let you guys know what's up, you know. And if you're wondering, yes, now I am a product reviewer for Schrade. Oh yeah, finally something good happened to you, man. Yeah. And I thank you so much, Russell, at Schrade or Taylor Brand, for allowing me to test these knives. But I got to be truthful to my people. And, you know, even if I, you know, people are hooking me up with stuff, I got to be truthful with you guys because that's just how I am. So as of right now, until they fix this little problem, unless you were using it on, you're not using it as rough as I just did. If you're just going to cut cardboard and blah, then it's going to be fine. But, you know, I tried to be somewhat extreme, you know, not overly brutal. You know, when I was stabbing it, I wasn't like bending the tip. I was just straight stabbing it. And it actually bent over like that a little bit, which I was like, oh man, I done did it now, didn't I? Yup, you did. So, if they fix this, I'll retest it and give you guys a fair review. But as of right now, I'd have to say I wouldn't do it. I'm pretty bummed out because it's a cool little knife and then that frickin' happened, damn. So I'd have to rate it, probably a 4 maybe, because like it worked pretty darn good, all besides that. So that is kind of a fail. So maybe a 3 3/4. But there you go. Hey, it got to be truthful, so there it is. Thanks as always for stopping by, watching this test review, and until the next time we meet.